But got anything to say about Olinity and her most recent thing that she's done to blow up the internet and Twitch? No? Okay.
I don't know what she did, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's Olinity. She did a thing. Moving on. What's going on, everybody? I am Veloc_TV, and this is StreamKey, and I have 3 guests today. Our new co-host, Sadomi. We have DonTranX and MPI. So starting with the MPI, because you weren't here last week, what can you tell everybody about you?
Yeah, so like I said, my name's MPI. I stream on Twitch. We play a lot of story-based games, and we've recently been diving into retro games. So I've been playing games that I missed out when I was a kid, and we talk a lot about mental health. We have a lot of fun. It's a good time.
All right, cool. DonTranX, what can you say about yourself, man?
What's up, guys? DonTranX here on Twitch and Twitter and everywhere else. I stream a lot of FPS games, mainly R6, a little bit of COD, ate a lot of food this weekend, so that feels good. Yeah, that's me, man.
Awesome. And Sadomi, the new co-host.
Hey, we out here, boys. All right.
You
guys, if you guys don't know, I am the homie Sadomi. And right now, I'm going through the Sadomi redemption arc, okay? I am going to show you in my own personal way how to go from 0 to career. That is my goal. And I hope everything I say today and going forward that you hear from me will help you on the same journey. I'm not selling a course or anything. I'm just selling myself, baby. Yo, let's get into this podcast. Let's get it.
When's that book coming out?
There's a book coming out 2021, December 1st.
There you have it. All right, so let's get into some topics. We're a little spare on like news and stuff like that today, so hopefully you guys got some questions for us. To start things out, Dr. Disrespect is getting a TV show, which is pretty freaking cool. It's going to be made by the people who did The Walking Dead. No network announced yet. Nobody knows what the show's going to be like at all, but the fact that Dr. Disrespect is getting a TV show is pretty cool. It's something super different, something that, like, I think only Ninja has pushed boundaries as a streamer so far in this aspect. So the fact that Dr. Disrespect is kind of doing the same thing is pretty cool. Anybody got anything about this at all?
Do you know if it'll be on sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah. Do you know if it'll be on mainstream networks or be through like a YouTube Red kind of service?
They haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, there's no details.
News to a network.
Okay, because I pretty much don't think that his appeal would be, unless you're trying to market him to a more TV audience and also try to convert the online audience back to cable. Mm-hmm. But I really doubt that. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have like a Netflix series or like something you can binge watch straight through, just because that's how the culture's going nowadays. Right. So I don't expect him to be on mainstream television, but I definitely expect it to be like some kind of online watchable series through some kind of major platform that way.
I think it would make a lot of sense to be on Prime TV, Amazon Prime, since he's already got connections there, you know? So, I mean, that could be a big help. Plus, I mean, Skybound it's not like they don't have connections, I'm sure. So,
that's true.
I mean, I like that he's moving outside of Twitch. It's cool to see people grow in the gaming industry and then work their way outside of it. I'm not the biggest Dr. Disrespect fan, so this show could go either way for me. If it's a lot about like the character and he's going to be like the 80s action villain that he is, and that's what the show's going to be about, cool. If it's going to be about him as a streamer, I'm out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do not like his content. I don't think he's a good person, honestly.
Okay, fair.
So I'm just not into it. And after the whole the bathroom thing, I've had a really bad taste in my mouth. So
I'm on the opposite side of the fence. I'm like super stoked about whatever his show is gonna be. I love his content. I think he's hilarious, you know. And it's good to see like people who are big names on Twitch like branch out onto other things, you know, instead of Ninja just pushing everything, you know. It's good to see someone like Dr. Disrespect take, you know, this initiative and push whatever he's pushing out either, you know, because not many people have tried this. If anyone, they probably have tried, maybe, or some are unsuccessful, but Doctor's got a big name, a big following, you know, whether you like his content or not, he has content that sells, you know. And let's be real, like I think people that are on Twitch aren't going to be on there forever, right? I don't think that's their goal. That's not my goal, you know. People on there, they want to make something of themselves and then break off of Twitch. They want to brand themselves and kind of do other things, whether it be like acting, singing, just, whatever, some kind of content creation, I think it's good to see him branch off and do other things other than Twitch. I'm pretty sure his team around him is as smart as Ninja's team, if not smarter,
Right. I'm kind of in the middle of like both your guys' opinions. Like, I don't really watch his content. I don't really care too much for it, but I have a lot of respect for what he does, because obviously it's not like an easy thing to be doing every day to put on an act. And he's a very successful streamer, and it's just cool to see him kind of, breaking out of Twitch and getting into other things. Whether it's good or not, it's cool that somebody's at least trying. And I can't wait to see like what actually comes about with it.
I'm curious too if it'll drive any audience back to Twitch seeing him. Because people are going to be like, well, who is this guy? Where did he come from? And then start looking into it. Be like, well, what is this Twitch thing? And then kind of check it out a little bit more. That could be cool.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see like the return on viewers or anything like that. I don't know. Like, I feel like if you don't know about Dr. Disrespect, you're not really going to go check out. Like, you're not going to care too much to stick around in his channel just by learning about it for a TV show. But for those of the people that already do watch him, it will be cool, like extra content for them, I think.
Yeah, I my assumption though is that the TV show that he's gonna have is gonna be based around his character. I mean, that's what that's what they bought into, and that's what they're gonna sell. So I don't think it's gonna be based on his like whatever streaming career or whatnot. I think it's gonna be based off his character, and I kind of want to see what it is, whether it's animated or not. I don't know, but I kind of want to see what it is.
It could be cool if it was like an adult style cartoon like Family Guy. Where basically like Cobra Kai was the G.I. Joe, but it's just like him as an 80s action villain just fighting the good guys and winning all the time.
that would be
root
really,
for the underdog.
Cool. I would totally be about watching that show if it was just him being a bad guy and just kicking everyone's ass. Like that'd be sweet.
That'd
Doc,
be a really good subversion.
You're welcome. That's a free one.
All right. Dr. Disrespect, you heard it, bro. Okay, get that going for us. Thank you.
You heard it
One more
here
thing,
on
too.
StreamKey.
So a really important thing to notice too about this is also another shift we see with streamers trying to break out from streaming. Because the thing about streaming is if you're doing it as a career, the biggest downside is that, and every business person knows this, if essentially you're trading time for money when you're streaming. And this is why you see so many streamers upload their content to YouTube, like their stream, like highlights and stuff, because the bad part of streaming is if you take, like I said, you take a week off, a day off, you lose income right there. You don't bring that in. You don't have any of that. So we're going to see a lot more streamers doing things similar to this as well. Just streaming less and creating more mainstream content. Because also, how old is Dr. D? He's a full-fledged adult. Like, he has kids and a wife.
Like in his 40s, isn't he? Like 30s or 40s.
Yeah. So, and you think... Yeah, exactly. So, like, we have... And I say this all the time. Time's expensive, man. Time's expensive. So you want to spend as much time probably with his family, with friends, doing other stuff besides sitting on his computer streaming the same game all day and, being Dr. D. So I think we'll see a lot more shift of people doing this, of less streaming hours and making more mainstream content.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting for sure. I mean, anytime that a streamer does something huge like this, it always just opens the door for other people to kind of join up. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I mean, if anybody else has anything on Dr. Disrespect in his TV show, no, okay. So
he's tall.
He's
tall. 37,
he's super tall. He's 37 years old.
37 years old. So that was close.
Dang, that's older than I thought. All right, cool.
Yeah,
didn't know that.
Yeah. Like Sadomi said, he's a full adult. He's a real adult.
A full adult,
not like us in our 20s.
He's a level 3 adult.
Yeah,
level 1 adults right now.
He's
level 3 adult.
He's a more adultier adult than me.
Man's got a mortgage.
Hey, stop that.
Hey, I had a mortgage.
I have that too.
All right, so next topic. The Twitch dashboard has a hidden feature. If you guys haven't noticed, anybody who does stream on Twitch should have noticed that Twitch has a new dashboard for your channel. And there's actually a hidden feature in there where you can like disable certain widgets or whatever you want to call them. If you enter in the Konami code, an image will show up and there's like sliders on there and everything. Pretty cool stuff. Just like a little hidden thing. Anybody else get to use that or check that out at all today?
I did. So I was streaming and went to open the extensions page to look at an extension someone told me about, and it just thrust me into the new dashboard in the middle of my stream. I was like, oh God, what's happening? And then later that day I saw the Konami code, and I don't know why that just wasn't there.
Right.
It feels kind of
should
silly.
be something that's just like built in without you having to like do some sneaky stuff to get to it, you know?
Yeah, it feels silly that it's hidden to me.
But it's also cool at the same time.
I mean, like, it's cool, but just to be able to change my stream title.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
With it, have you guys seen with the new dashboard? I'll notice that I'll type out my title, I'll update the information, and then it disappears from the dashboard side.
I haven't seen that.
Anyone
but it
else
sounds
seen
like
that?
a really cool
Yeah, I've had
feature.
that a few sometimes.
No, like it's like just gone. Like it's like it looks like I don't have a title anymore.
That's
yeah,
a
I've
pretty
always
cool
had
feature.
issues
I haven't seen that.
like that too. The dashboard.
Really?
I like the dashboard in a way, but I feel like it's done the Windows 8 dumbing down thing that I'm not like a fan of.
I can see
Like,
that. I can
yeah,
That's
tell.
100% what it is. I couldn't
like
put my finger on it. You're so right.
It's like it's
It's
trying to
okay.
be so user friendly. It takes all the people who like know what they're doing, and it's like at this point, just give me a freaking like a command line box. Please, just give me one of those.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Command prompt.
It's okay. We'll get
Thank you.
we'll get a dashboard 8.1 here in a few weeks that brings back the old stuff.
I have another kind of topic in here. Not one I want to discuss too much, but Alinity did a thing, and there hasn't been any issues or repercussions from that. Anybody got anything to say about Alinity and her most recent thing that she's done to blow up the internet and Twitch? No? Okay.
I don't know what she did, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's Alinity. She did a thing. Moving on.
I saw what you linked, and I actually saw the clip too of what it is.
Was it on Pornhub?
It could have been.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it could have been. And a weird topic too, or not topic, but genre, I guess. It's, yeah, I guess that's what you call it. Anyway, go on.
I gotta look up what it is.
Yeah, it's I don't know. She did a thing. It wasn't like crazy, but she's so famous that people blow it out of proportion, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Hating Alinity is like hating Twitch. It's like the new.
Yeah, it's like it's the cool thing to hate Ninja. You know, it's a cool thing to hate Alinity too. You know, it's just what it is these days. I just don't really try and put too much effort into it. But it was kind of funny to watch, though. Not gonna lie, if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Too much about it. It's worth mentioning that Alinity did a thing and nothing happened to her or her channel.
Yeah.
Like,
If I had to say one thing on it, it's just like the internet hate boner is always going to be there. So that's like if I was in Alinity's position and like my dog came up and like one day I was petting my dog and I was playing guitar on her like belly, like petting her that way, and it looked really bad. And so like if I was Alinity in that situation, like it's just like people just look at things, and I didn't really see it. Like dogs do that. If you have a dog, they go for genitals.
yeah, maybe that
So,
dog should not be in her stream room while she's streaming,
Or any animals.
or any
Or
animal.
that too.
Yeah, or
So
Yeah.
any animals in her home ever again.
Yeah, or that. All right, moving on to the next topic. I feel like we talked about this one enough. Sadomi, you had a pretty cool topic to talk about.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't noticed, there's a very small like trend coming up on Twitch right now, where there is a Dr. K. I forgot his full name. Hold on, let me see if I can pull up real quick.
I still got it here.
Okay, cool. You can pronounce that for me.
Kanagia?
Dr. Kanaja. Dr. Kanaja. For now, we'll say Dr. K because just to keep everything quick and simple. Dr. K has been doing a lot of he's a professional psychiatrist who has a focus on gaming addiction, and he suffered that through his own personal life. And I've been watching a lot of his content lately. He's done things with Devin Nash, with Wreckful, and he just recently uploaded a video with Sky Williams about an hour ago. And the one thing he's been doing is making me think about the just the how interesting it is to see how all these big streamers can sit down and like talk to he's not a therapist, and you can't call it therapy for legal reasons, but essentially it's therapy. And it's very interesting seeing into that window. Like he gets down into issues and streamers are crying, people are having breakthroughs, teaching meditation, and it's just very insightful. I know MPI is a very big fan of mental health, so he's gonna have a lot to say on the subject. So we'll start with the mental health aspect first. So MPI, what do you've seen a lot of Dr. K stuff, right?
So I hadn't until you guys brought it up, but I read through that article and I watched the clip. I have a lot of thoughts on it. I'm glad that they're not calling it therapy, because like you said, legally they can't, and watching it, it's not. A lot of people think that therapy and counseling is what you see on things like this, or like on TV, where it's like hard-hitting questions and then you're a blubbering mess later on. But really, it's the first time, like, I've been to counseling, and the first time I went, my counselor didn't even bring up my anxiety or depression at all. She was just like, so tell me, like, about yourself. Who are you? What do you do for work? What do you do for fun? And like the first time that we met was just like meeting someone at like a bar, or when you get introduced to a friend. So I'm glad that they're not saying this is a mental health service, we are showing you counseling, because it's not what it is. I do like that he's bringing people on and showing how important mental health is, and that it is 100% okay to talk about it. I mean, think about it. You get the flu, you tell people you have the flu. No one bats an eye. Why is your brain any different? It's an illness. So I like where it's going, and I'm curious to see what else he does. I mean, a lot of people use Twitch as an outlet for their depression and anxiety and everything else. So why not talk about it there?
For sure. It was definitely cool stuff. I mean, like you said, it's not necessarily therapy. It, like, just from the one clip alone, it did look like it was just him trying to like get the other guy to open up a lot and get really emotional, and then like he kind of quickly jumped to addressing it, and like, this is the reason, and this is what you're actually doing, and that's awesome, you know. And like it is cool stuff to see. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's definitely not therapy. But does anybody else have any other, like, anything else to say about this at all?
Yeah, I've never been to a therapy session and all that. So I don't know too much about it. You know, I know a lot of people go through it. A lot of people talk about it, but a lot of people also don't talk about it, because sometimes it's, you know, not a subject people want to touch on, especially in public in front of people, you know. So to watch that clip, you know, and get like an outsider's perspective on what goes on in people that struggle with mental health, you know, it's cool for me to watch, because I don't experience it, but it's good to see like how it happens, you know, how people talk about it and how people try and dissect it, you know. To me, it's super interesting. It's a world that I'm not in, you know. So that is like super eye-opening to me, and you know, whether you like to call it or not, you know, I like to watch it. So to me, that was like not entertainment, for the lack of a better word, you know, but like it was cool to see, you know. Like I've never seen usually streamers. Hello? Yeah, so usually you don't see that side of streamers. So to me, that was really cool to watch, and I'm definitely gonna tune in if he does more of it, you know, which I think he does, right? His channel, Dr. K does. I'm gonna tune in, because that's I mean, it's good to watch, you know, and to me that's entertaining.
Yeah, 100%.
And so something I just thought of right now too is, once you see this coming from these people, we all know Sky Williams is big, Reckle's pretty big, Devin Nash is relatively big. What is the issues they're having coming because they stream, or came before they stream? And is that just kind of people that streaming attracts? That's what I always wondered.
So watching the clip in that in the article that you linked, it sounds like he's the streamer. I wasn't familiar with the streamer personally, but it sounds like he's dealt with this his entire life, because they're talking about it in the clip and in the article, and he says like, I don't remember the exact direct quote, but it was, "I want to give people what I wanted when I was a kid and what I didn't have access to." It's the same thing you see with like a lot of musicians who are like, I didn't have anyone to look up to, and I turned to music, started writing music about my depression, and now I sing about it, and people look up to me, and I help people with it. So I think streaming does kind of attract people with things like that sometimes, because especially with depression and anxiety, it can leave you feeling extremely lonely. Even in, it's like the quote of like, I feel alone even like in crowded rooms, because you think you're the only person going through it, when there's absolutely, I mean, statistically, you can't be the only person going through depression. There's billions of people in the world. But I think that draws a lot of people to Twitch because it gives them a social interaction with less pressure. Where like if you make plans to meet people at a bar and then you cancel, you feel bad. If you watch someone stream and one day you're having a really rough day and you don't get to the computer, you don't feel as bad because, it wasn't a plan. It was just I happened to be there and I connect with these people. So I think it does draw people that feel lonely, and that can either be just from not being social or from dealing with a mental illness.
Yeah,
Right.
I 100% was going to say what you're going to say. Twitch is an easy place for people to go to connect, and make themselves feel better, to basically socialize without having to go out and do stuff, right? Without having that anxiety that you get. Twitch is easily filled with that. I think there are more people on Twitch that go through this than people actually realize. I can't count how many times people come into my channel and they are going through some kind of mental health, depression, anxiety. I think it's all over Twitch, in my opinion. Not that it's a bad thing. It's just that's the demographic of Twitch. I feel like more of it is a lot of people who are just trying to reach out, just trying to connect, And at the end of the day, that's kind of what Twitch is at the end of the day, whether you have social anxiety, depression or whatnot, or you don't. At the end of the day, Twitch is all about connecting with people, and that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
And I think another thing that Twitch helps with from a viewer perspective, if you deal with those things, is there's a lot of people who have, especially with anxiety, it's hard for them to make phone calls or to physically speak to people. But through text chat, it's very easy to get across what you're saying, and you can edit as needed. So like if you start to type a thought and you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense, you can backspace it. But if you say it out loud, it can be hard or almost impossible for some people to do that. So being able to do it through chat or through like a Discord server, it's a lot easier to connect with people. And then over time, that kind of helps them. It can help them break out and start talking to people, or like making those difficult phone calls, like to call a counselor and set up an appointment, or just to call a friend and say, yo, what's up, man? How have you been? And then it kind of snowballs sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even with me, like I started streaming because I, didn't have a social life at all and didn't really care to like meet new people necessarily. But I definitely wanted some sort of social outlet, so I started streaming. And you wouldn't have any idea that I used to be like a super introverted person. Like I never had to go through like a like depression or anything like that. Not to the scale that anybody that most people do or anything. But it's definitely helped me out quite a bit because I'm a much more outgoing person. I'm, very confident in myself now as opposed to before when I was the complete opposite of what I am now, for sure. So it is cool to see that kind of stuff and like realize how much Twitch does actually help, whether you're a viewer or a streamer.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I've talked about that a lot. That's why I started streaming. Mm-hmm. Is because I deal with anxiety and depression, and I'm very open to talk about it. But I played video games for a really long time to deal with it, and I watched a lot of YouTube gaming content, and then I discovered Twitch and started finding smaller communities, because the only time I watched Twitch was like for big MLG events, and you're not talking to anybody during that. That chat's ridiculous. But, over time, I started finding these smaller communities where every time I would come to chat, that person would immediately recognize me, who I am, and be like, yo, MPI, what's up, man? How have you been? What have you been up to? Blah, blah, all this stuff. And I was like, dang, like, this is the most positive place I've ever been. Everybody's so happy and so nice. Mm-hmm. And watching streamers kind of helped me with that. And I was like, I could do that. Why am I not doing that? And then whenever I started my channel, it was a mission statement was that's what the channel is about, is connecting with people, being a place where people can come in and feel safe to talk about whatever they need to, and to have resources available if someone is going through a crisis.
Absolutely.
So, it's a huge part of it.
And so I kind of want to touch on to like the reverse coin flip of that side too. And again, we're not psychiatrists and none of us know like how people think for sure, but careful.
I'm definitely not.
Okay. But I'm gonna go into like the flip side of the coin, where what negatives come from interacting mostly in a Twitch only and or internet only environment where you're not, and we see this at cons too. We see people not knowing boundaries, people not understanding context as well through chat versus in vocalizations, because saying something in Twitch chat and saying it out loud to somebody in a physical space can have two different connotations. And that's all based on how the person read it, how the person wrote it, and just the sound and inflection of their voice. So I think that we also should have a discussion on the negatives as well, and why we should kind of emphasize going out as well. Maybe even, I think cons are great practice for that, but at the same time, I think it's healthy for people to get out more and go out and speak to people more, personally.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Free for All Cast, I actually mentioned in the chat that the other side of the coin, it opens the door to people that can ruin someone's life by hiding behind a handle and trolling them, which is totally like it's so accurate. But at the same time, like for me, I think it just comes with time, just being able to tune out people that say those, like, some of them are like super horrible things that like nobody would ever say, you know, face to face by any means. But I still think that, like, to an extent, you get to a point where you can kind of like tune that out. You know what I mean? Like, have you guys like had hard times dealing with any like trolls on the internet or anything like that?
So yeah, you know, trolls come in when you stream. You know, you kind of sign up for this, right? You have to kind of expect it. You know, and yeah, I'm kind of like you, Vel. You know, sometimes I entertain them. You know, like you troll them back. You know, or just ignore them. You know, there's two ways to tackle it. But to get back to the point of, like, you know, interacting, you know, face to face, you know, and does Twitch help that at all, or do you get out? So so if you meet me in person, I'm the exact same person. I think only because I think that I used to party so much back in the days, like that helps my interaction now. But so when I went to TwitchCon this year, I met a bunch of streamers and a bunch of my friends I met on Twitch, you know, all really nice people, you know. But you know, some of them were different, you know, than they kind of are when they stream, you know. When they stream, maybe they put on like a persona, you know, like you kind of have to, you know. But in person though, when you meet some people, you can kind of expect them to kind of not be the same as you see them on stream. So that's kind of expected. Go to TwitchCon, make some friends, you know, and then meet your streamers. They might not be the same, but you know what? There's the same person inside, so that's all that actually matters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think there's kind of like two questions here, but dealing with like trolls, unfortunately, that's part of the internet, and it has been for a really long time. And no matter where you go on the internet, you're gonna have that. And I think if you're on Twitch and you're dealing with something like that, and you are not the streamer, but you're in someone's community, I've never seen a streamer where you couldn't go to them and be like, yo, this person is not okay. Like, this is the things that they sent me, especially if you legitimately have proof. Like, this person just sent me all these racist things or all these homophobic things after I talked about being, after like I came out and chat to you guys. And I just want you to know that that's what's happening. And this person is maybe something we need to watch out for. It's just like anything else where you kind of have to help look out for one another. You know, you help look out for your friends. It's the same thing, whether it's IRL or on Twitch. You help look out for your friends. And if your community is something that focuses on mental health, your mods or regulars need to be in on that. Like I said, I talk about it a lot. Like, my mental health is such a big part of my community that, I mean, I've talked to my mods about what is okay, what isn't okay, when we need to bring up resources, and we talk fairly regularly if something changes or we notice something new come up, like, how can we handle this in the future if this comes up again? And I mean, I've even thought about trying to find around me crisis intervention courses to take to be able to help get people to these resources a little bit easier and in a better way. So I think dealing with trolls, unfortunately, is going to be part of it. And sometimes you kind of just have to, like, you have to let it roll and just, you know, just if you think about it a little bit logically, like that person's clearly just got nothing better to do with their life, and obviously I'm a better person than they are because I'm not doing this to people on the internet.
It's true. Yep.
Back to Sadomi's side, though, the negatives of just interacting online is, like you said, it can be, you could say one thing in text chat, or like even be able to say it with like emotes, and then whenever you get outside and you're saying that in person, it doesn't make sense, or it can come across the wrong way. Like I have a few Twitch friends that live in my city, and we'll get together and we'll all be talking about something, and one of them will say something really sarcastic, and then instead of being like, I'm just kidding, they'll say Kappa, and everybody else looks at us, they're like, what are you guys talking about? Are you okay? So it's like you kind of have to remember, like, there are, I guess, like, there are phrases and jokes that live on Twitch that don't live anywhere else.
Right.
And I think sometimes if you only interact through Twitch, you forget that.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. You can definitely misinterpret something if you don't pay attention to, your audience.
I definitely said Monka S at work the other day. And like, it was the only situation I ever used to like Twitch lingo, like in person. But I mean, it was Monka S, dog.
That's awesome. We actually have a caller now. We got Savage Voice coming in, so I'm gonna add him here in a second once Vince gets the old scene ready. We'll see what this guy has to say this week.
My man.
Right? All right, we're gonna get him in. Let's see.
A
Savage Voice. There he is. Savage Voice, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Doing all right. What you got for us today?
Wait, hold on. Just take the earpiece out. I was listening to the pod. Yeah, a couple things. One, I think with the stream that Sadomi brought up. Well, first, actually, congratulations, Velok. Got to say that. Congratulations, Sadomi. Then, yeah, with that stream, we've already had this in other mediums. Donahue was like in the 70s and 80s. Okay, so it's a matter of what direction this streamer or any streamer wants to go with it, because there's always going to be the bad with the good. We can't get away with that. So whether this streamer decides to lean into the positive aspect of mental health, should always make sure to let everybody know that they are not a trained professional. They do not have a degree. Give options for people to find help if they need it, so that they can find help. But then there's always going to be, from this, especially if it does good, there will be that other side somewhere where it's going to be, Maury Povich or Jerry Springer, where it's going to bring out the worst in people and they're going to capitalize on it. But you're going to have to take one with the other. Now, my question, per se, which is separate from that, is being the level 4 adult that I am, #graybeard, I find that you actually, MPI brought up the trigger word Kappa, that my personal opinion is, obviously over on YouTube, it's, things going crazy over there. But I think personally, those, at least I found in my community, I don't know if it's because of age or just because of not wanting to think about it, aren't taking that situation seriously, maybe because they think it's just for YouTube, when the law itself covers all of the internet. So whatever affects YouTube by proxy will affect all of us here, especially when you think about let's say we're Twitch, we're in a major war with YouTube as far as who's going to be the big, streaming company. So that puts us under the spotlight. What we stream primarily puts us under the spotlight of what they're dealing with. And we can drop F-bombs and this and that, but in general, Twitch kind of makes us kind of go towards that, be closer to kid friendly than not, because, they want that money. And I just think that a lot of people aren't taking it seriously as far as if they want to do this with any serious profession where they're making money off of it. If you're making money, I think, off of any of this content, you should at least want to familiarize yourself with what that law states and pay attention, because it's something that affects all of us, if you're doing this. I just want to know what you guys think in that respect, as far as what you've seen as far as people taking it seriously.
So COPPA is what you're referring to.
Yes.
It is something that is a sign of how the government is behind the times, because the government's never had to deal with something like this before in this scale. I mean, I think the earliest thing was when they initially. So I know back in the day, they used to be able to market cigarettes and alcohol a lot more liberally. But now you have to have, I think it was introduced like maybe 15 years ago, where you couldn't market like cigarettes and alcohol in certain ways. Like you can't drink alcohol on TV, or you can't, in advertisements, you cannot show people drinking alcohol, and you cannot show people smoking cigarettes, or show even tobacco ads, I think, on television. So, and that took a long time for that to like address. So I'm thinking if anything shows until the current generation of politicians die out, I don't think we'll see a major change. So by the time maybe like 2030 or 2040, so we'll see an actual government-wide change to where this is like the norm, and we have laws that will benefit the people that are trying to help and benefit the content creators behind them. But because everything's moving so fast and government moves so slow, I don't think this is going to fix for a long time. And so people should take it very seriously, and just screaming out F-bombs at the start of your videos doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, the government's going to do what it wants to do until it recognizes that YouTube and the internet culture as a general will be like the status quo going forward, because we always will have prohibitional things. The minute you limit something, a black market opens up. Okay, that's why prohibiting drugs and alcohol never work. Okay, if people want it, they'll get it. They'll just do it with different means. And so that means changing platforms until COPPA doesn't reach those platforms. Then that's what's going to happen. But quite frankly, if you really don't think COPPA is a big deal, you're doing this as a profession. You aren't doing it as a profession. You're doing it as a hobby, because that's like a lawyer not doing research on new laws in their field of expertise. That just does not make sense.
Okay. Anybody else got anything?
I don't know. There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, it really is. It's a pretty aggressive topic.
I come with the subjects, guys.
I guess so.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Sadomi, you're right, and it's. I mean, like someone in chat said, I think it was Free For All. I mean, COPPA's been around since 1997. This isn't something new. It's new on the internet. And it's only because these platforms are getting so big with advertising and just being bigger than cable television is that the government went, oh, we care now, and we're going to pay attention. And that's when they basically told YouTube, hey, you guys got to follow these rules. And then YouTube, in turn, had the worst reaction they could have had, which was to do what YouTube does and do it the wrong way.
Yeah,
right.
Which I think we talked about a few episodes ago, what we thought would be a better way for them to go about enforcing these things than how they're doing it at the moment.
Their primary concern is making sure that they're safe. And like, because no matter what, at the end of the day, they're making their money, no matter who gets kicked off the platform, who gets demonetized, anything like that. And like, from a business perspective, it makes sense. Like, they have to be aggressive with it, which I get. But from a perspective of a content creator who's, looking at, anything like not that I'm trying to switch or anything like that, but like when you have all these different options, like you can see which ones are not good ideas and which ones are good ideas, and like for moving your content over to that platform, you know what I mean? So YouTube does have a lot of pluses, but with the actions that YouTube takes as far as any sort of restrictions or anything, it's a huge like thumbs down, you know what I mean? Like that's a huge like a con that like most people wouldn't want to switch over to. Anybody else got anything on this?
I pretty much agree with what Sadomi says. It was created a long time ago, right? So thinking a long time ago is a lot different than today. And in politics, which I don't like to talk about a lot, I really don't, because it's really heated. But it takes the government moves slower than the internet. The internet moves 10 times faster than anything in the entire world, I feel like. Yes, it needs an update, and things need to change. But I'm afraid that it's always going to be a catch-up game all the time. Like this will not. It's always going to be catching up. Once it gets updated, the internet evolves again. It's always going to catch up. This topic will never go away. It'll continue to exist for forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think too, it was really bad because the way that YouTube kind of worded the announcement and everything was like, you could get fined, or they said you will be fined $40,000. You're not going to get fined. So you could technically be yes, but whenever you break it down and actually like really, really look at this law, it's not there to say you said the F word in a video that YouTube said was made for kids. Here's a $40,000 fine. It's
Correct.
You made a video that was made for kids specifically to be an advertisement to sell things to children, which is not okay. And that's where it comes in. So everyone has kind of blown this out of proportion, I think, on YouTube and saying, well, everybody's videos, it's going to be terrible. This is Adpocalypse 2.0. And you made a video that you said the F word in, but because you were playing SpongeBob kart racing, YouTube decided it was made for kids, you're going to get fined. Well, you're not likely to get fined over that. If you're playing YouTube SpongeBob kart racing and said halfway through the video, kids, go buy this right now, buy it on Steam, $5. Children, buy this game. Yeah, you're going to get fined. But the whole thing is to protect kids from advertisers trying to shove things down their throat. If you look back on TV shows from the 80s, that's why these things come from. They were great shows, but there's a show on Netflix called The Toys That Made Us. And the entire thing is every single episode is somebody made up a toy. They went to sell the toy. Everybody said nobody will buy it. They made a kids' TV show to advertise the toy. That's what G.I. Joe is. That's what Transformers is. That's what Power Rangers was. Everything was an advertisement, but it was 30 minutes long with a story.
Mm-hmm.
That's why these things came to exist, because you were getting, TV just became hour-long ads, and that's it. So unless that's the kind of content you're making, which if it is, stop it right now and make better content, I wouldn't be as upset as people are about this.
So one thing that I just kind of thought of right now too is like kind of the reason why people are, at least the business people are worried about it. Okay. So you guys know what CPMs are, right? CPM rates. Okay. So yeah. So cost per millennia. So cost per 1,000. So that's how ads are sold on YouTube. So some people will have higher ad rates for certain things. Like gaming videos will have like, I don't know, like $2 or $3 per 1,000 people who watch a certain ad. But certain videos like makeup channels and other high product channels have much higher CPMs. I know some CPMs for some videos go up to $50 per 1,000. And so if you get 10,000 people watching that video, then you can already, see where the bucks are coming from. And then you see some of these children's videos who have CPMs that high and they reach videos in the millions. You can see the money they're bringing in and why it's a big deal. So the problem with COPPA and why channels don't want to do this is because essentially COPPA means you cannot use targeted ads toward children and you cannot collect children's data. What do businesses use to help market? Data. What do businesses use to help sell products? Targeted ads. So naturally, those CPM rates are going to go down from $50 to near zero or not monetizable at all because, you can't collect that data. So people who create content for children and therefore deemed for children, which is the biggest discrepancy because what the government deems for children, what we deem for children, maybe two different things. But what matters is whoever has the most power determines what is, for children, what's not for children. And so with that, when you think about it, businesses, they want to get this data, man. They want this data. And some businesses will follow the law and be clean about it. But some will go under the table. Some will be like, hey, we're not collecting data, we promise. But we do notice that our younger base does like watching this a bit more, And so I suspect there will be pretty soon a hidden black market for children's data coming around. because that is too strong of a market to just ignore. Like expecting people to leave money on the table, especially really good businessmen, I don't know. I think there's gonna be some kind of black market for children's data, and that's a really scary thing because you already know Facebook takes all of our data. That's why I feel very like I hate even looking on Facebook for a little bit. All these platforms take our data. Discord, I'm pretty sure Discord takes a little bit. Even they say it's just for like user improvement, they still use a little bit. Like data is the most important thing, most expensive thing in the entire online marketplace. So, you know, it's that's what I'm really worried about COPPA.
Okay. So here's I'll play, I guess, devil's advocate for the most part. One thing, as a parent, I'm a parent. I have 3 kids. Okay, I grew up in the '80s of that whole, you know, marketing to the kids. Here's the problem with COPPA, at least in its current form, in my opinion. One, there's one side of it that yes, collecting the kids' data, collecting cookies, that information to protect kids from being exposed to threats, actual threats. Yes, that is good. Here's where the fault lies. What is it? There's a way to do it, obviously, there's a way not to do it, but what is wrong with marketing to kids? I'm a parent. You can market whatever you want to my kid. You know how much stuff I wanted as a kid? So what? My mom was not getting it for me unless she wanted to. The stuff that came from it, Thundercats, all the, you know, G.I. Joe, Transformers, yes, they were marketing to kids, and here's the problem with those shows. Yes, some of the stories sucked so bad. Major things I will not say. You can put your adjective or noun there, you know what I mean. But from that came a culture. Like literally, I'm a blurred, a black nerd. My culture stems from these things. Marketing to kids is not bad. It's up to a parent to say you can or cannot have that, or monitor kid to make sure that they don't have your credit card and is buying something. Now, if your kid buys something they're not supposed to, that's not the creator's fault for creating something that is that appealing that a kid is captivated by it and wants to be a part of it in some way and can possibly grow up. And, you know, there's people who grew up on these properties, you know, were advertised towards, bought the toys, and then grew up to work with these properties. So I don't think that's necessarily should be a bad thing. Then the other aspect of it is you're not even trying, like the context. What made me think this up when I finally started taking it seriously, because I didn't at first either. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then I woke up and then realized what the law said. And I was like, okay, I'm not Mr. Let's do this guy, you know, political or whatever. But I was like, all right, I'm old enough to kind of see some of the writing on the wall, what this could possibly mean, whether it means it or not. Brought it to my Discord, and it became, instead of a see what it is about, let's just dismiss it. Literally, someone said fake news, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like this, you know, and I clipped a video that was a YouTube video, and instead of watching the video or taking it seriously, the sentiment, or one of my Discord friends said, was, I'm not clipping that just because somebody wants to get views and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, you didn't see it because it was literally, I think the one was a specific lawyer talking about it. You can't just you're doing this, you want to do this, you should be open to what can possibly happen versus what will happen. Because I'm small, I don't see them coming after me for anything I'm doing. I did a stream with my kid for like 5-6 hours, and yes, I'm a bit nervous about putting that up somewhere because I'll have to make sure I label it properly on the off chance it comes across, because it's nothing like anything else I do. But at the same time, I'm more confident because I'm aware of what could possibly happen. And I don't think a lot of people on Twitch are opening themselves up to the rest of the world, because this is no longer just a small Twitch. We're in our own bubble. No one knows what we are except for us. This is We have Dr. Disrespect getting a TV show. We have Ninja. We have all these people who didn't make news now making news. We are slowly getting more under the microscope. We need to pay attention to what's going on and not stick our head in the sand. And I don't know. I just think that more streamers need to be open to what they're actually doing versus what they think they're doing.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot that could go on with that. Like, there's a lot that we could talk about, with the kappa and everything. It's such a tough topic, and I feel like we could make a whole podcast about it. You know what I mean? Because like, there's literally so much there, and like, I don't know. I think like to really get like a good discussion going, we have to really wait and see like what actually happens with it, with like YouTube and things like that. Because it could just be an overreaction on some people's parts, and some of it probably isn't an overreaction. But I feel like we don't know enough about it to really make like a legitimate discussion going forward quite yet. You know what I mean? But really appreciate the topic, man. Anybody else got anything to add to that real quick? Or
I think, like you said, it makes a lot of sense. People blew it out of proportion way too fast.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is something that's like super scary when you read exactly what it is. It is like a lot to take on. But at the end of the day, like, nothing has happened yet, so we really have no legitimate fears to go off of.
Mm-hmm. And I have to imagine that YouTube isn't just going to get like a letter in the mail from the government that's like, follow these rules. They're going to go, okay. They're probably going to have a discussion with them of like, hey, just so you guys know, this is a little bit different than cable television. And hopefully they're going to try to like kind of work together on that. Because that's what I think they need to do more of, is bring in these companies who are actually involved in it that can give them some real facts and be like, hey, this is, actually how all this stuff works. So let's maybe figure out a good middle ground.
I just want to make one last distinction so everybody understands, because I didn't get this before. The FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is not the same as the FCC. So just be aware, those are two different entities. They work completely different. One is specifically about trade and commerce, and the other is about, censoring TV and making sure you don't drop F-bombs where kids see. But I thank you guys. It's always awesome. Once again, congratulations. Loving the pod. So you're awesome. Graybeard out.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the topic as well, dude.
Later.
And yeah, there's so much to that one. Just so much that we could talk about, and really nothing to really back any of it up quite yet, just because it's like a super new thing as far as like YouTube or Twitch or anything like that. So,
and isn't YouTube's not even enforcing it until 2020? So
yeah, it's not even a thing yet. I don't think so.
Something is probably going to change between now and then.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they'll probably
see what it does.
Better answer next year.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. I'd like a lot more clarification on, the enforcement of everything. It would be really nice. Like, they don't really have to do it, obviously, but it would be a cool thing for YouTube to do, just to let people know, like, put some minds at ease and everything, because it 100% is blown up, probably more than it should have. But we'll have to wait and see. Like, we have nothing really to go off of yet. Manu had a question. He said, do you think Twitch does a good job of managing toxicity? Sometimes I get some jerks in my chat that keep making fake accounts with offensive names, and even if I ban them, they'll make like 20 more accounts. I know everyone here should have gone through something like this at least once, because we're all streamers. So who wants to take this first?
So first tip to you, turn on email verification for all chatters. That's the first thing. Because
does that do anything? Because I have that on, and I actually had something like this happen the other day where my chat got flooded with just junk. It was all on topic because it all said Pokemon stuff, but it was just like somebody just dropped a bomb on it, and I can't imagine somebody went through thousands of these things and verified the email. Because I have that on. I don't think it does anything.
I think that you could also easily automate that too, because you can make a bot that makes accounts on a temporary email address maker. They have those. You can also keep typing like +1 +1 +1 or different numbers into thing and make those numbers match up with the accounts. And there's definitely ways around it to get around it. That is a good first step though. It's kind of like, I hate saying, it's kind of like using a condom in sex. Like you still have the risk of it happening, but it helps, mitigate the risks. So that's the first thing. Second thing I'd say is Twitch. No, duh. Of course they don't. Like, is that even a question? That was more of a statement. Like, duh, no. And the thing is, it's not even Twitch's fault. That's a cult. It's a culture thing. It's a culture issue. Because like I said before, women, people of color, and those who don't fit any one person, actually not even the world's minority, I've noticed just a minority of like your own place. So like people like American streamers probably get different hate than Indian streamers do, than Chinese streamers do. Like, and I don't speak the languages, so I don't know exactly what goes on there. But for sure, definitely one thing that I think needs to change first is just the culture of gaming and the internet in general, because anonymity has made us all very, very, like, how many times have we gotten into like a Twitter argument with somebody over something that if it was in your real day-to-day life, you'd just be like, and just walk away.
Right.
Yeah. Like, we feel so empowered to share our beliefs because most of us assume someone cares, when in reality, if we did that out in public, a lot of us would either get, verbally assaulted or punched in the face. And online, you don't get those. You get texts that you can honestly just close your window anytime you're done talking the discussion. Like, I've done that. I've had times where I'm like, listen, I don't care what the other person say. I'm gonna say something. I don't say something nasty, and I'm just gonna close the window and I don't think about it. Like, before, like, the whole, I'm looking at my keyboard and I'm gonna press enter, then I'm gonna press Alt F4 on the game screen. Don't give them satisfaction. I do that a lot in Rocket League. It's beautiful. But yeah, it's a culture thing first and foremost. Before, like, Twitch can't change anything. Like, they have no power. They have zero power in this directory. It's all people in this. We have to find a way to, as a culture, not embrace it, but shun it and kind of embrace a better, And so that belongs on the streamer's culture there and thereof. Like, for instance, I've been in Twitch chats where it's a, I don't want to say cancer, because I don't like saying that about things, but it's definitely like, you look at it and you lose brain cells. Okay. And it's just not pretty. But then you see some chats and Twitch and you're like, how is this actual conversation? And then you see one person, and it's never the streamer. It's never the streamer in these communities. It's always the other people around in chat who kind of self-moderate. So the streamer will set the precedent. They'll set the whole, the whole tone of the community. But then the chat's one that enforces it. Because if you have a bunch of memers, you're going to get memers. If you have a bunch of people who want to sit down for a deep discussion and talk about just like the tier zoo videos and discuss like why the Tyrannosaurus Rex is B tier, not S tier, like, and you keep it civil, that's a culture thing. You bring in one idiot, everybody's going to be like, okay, shun the idiot. But if you have a room full of idiots, you're going to shun the people who, aren't idiots.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely a community thing. And as far as like Twitch channels, it starts from the streamer, like moderating their chat, and over time, your chat will be as positive as you are, if not more positive. If you can like keep that positivity going. If you're toxic and if you're an a-hole, your chat's going to be a bunch of toxic a-holes 100% of the time. Even if they're not like that, like IRL, they're going to be that way when they're in your chat, because that's the norm in there. You know what I mean? And as far as people making like a bunch of accounts and spamming your channel, that's something that like Twitch can't really do anything about. That's something that like you just have to kind of push through, I guess is the way to put it. Anybody else got anything on this?
Yeah. So like when you stream, you sign up for this, right? You got to be prepared for this, And yeah, let's say you do get a troll that comes in, and you ban him, okay? And he creates 20 accounts. Like, it takes him how long to make all these accounts? A while. It takes you like 2 seconds to click the ban button, To me, I don't let it get to me. I let it happen. If they troll me, I just ban them if I don't want to entertain them, I kind of, that's how it is. If you let that person like kind of like take over your chat, that's gonna set the mood for a lot of things that you probably don't want. So if a troll comes in, they give you a hard time, ban them. Then make another account and ban that one. Just it's a click of a button. It's not too much hair off your back at the end of the day when you do it. and just smile along. That's it. When you stream, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen again, and it might happen tenfold. You know, just gotta deal with it and just smile through it, man. Smile through it.
And very fun quote. Sorry, MP, I cut you off on Facebook real quick. And one thing I love, very quote, is Michael Jordan doesn't leave YouTube comments. So if they're good doing that, like you don't think about it. It's like you don't give them the effort, the brain effort.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, what you're saying that they're doing is, I mean, that is against TOS, and you can report it, and sometimes you might get lucky and it'll end up in an IP ban, but it's not going to happen in an instant. But this is the time when emote only or follower only chat is made for. It's not made for make it follow only so people have to follow you. It's made for when you have someone coming in like this, and you can set your follower only to be they've had to have been following for a month before they can chat, or a week. And a lot of times when that happens, like I said, this happened to me Friday. Somebody came in and dropped like a huge chat bomb somehow, and then somehow like bunch of follows that immediately went away. It was like 2 seconds they were there, then they were gone again. But I just turned on follower only mode and it stopped. The people who were actually in chat said, "What just happened?" I said, "I don't know. Some people just don't have anything to do." And then I went on playing Pokemon. And if anybody said, if they asked about it, like, why is it follower only? I'd just be like, we're just going to do it for the last 30 minutes of the stream because it's happened. And move on with it. That's what it's there for. So if that's happening, put it in follower only mode for 25, 30 minutes. Then if you have a lot longer left in your stream, maybe turn it off and kind of like tiptoe those waters of like, did they move on yet? Oh, they didn't? Okay, well, let's back for another 20 minutes and then kind of ease your way through it. If your stream's almost over, just throw it in follower only mode and finish up the stream. And then if you're really upset about it, you can report those accounts. But you kind of have a coin toss if anything's actually going to happen when you do that, which is where I think Twitch could step up a little bit. But like Sadomi said, more it's a culture thing that we need to shun and get away from. It's, what was it that your parents said when you were a kid? The kid that's bullying you, if you ignore him, he will more than likely go away because he'll get bored. Just ignore people that do these stupid things. They'll get bored and go away.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Crazy Eyes said in the chat, the best thing you can do with a troll is give them lots of angry attention and overreact to their trolling. Obviously, he's joking. That's the exact opposite of what you should be doing. No matter what it is, when a troll comes into your chat, the best thing you can do is just keep a level head and stay one step ahead of them. Whether it's you want to troll them back, through kindness or something, or if you want to, just ban them or, try to mute them, do whatever it is that you can, however you want to handle it. But the most important thing is to just keep a level head about it. Don't let them get their enjoyment out of trolling you. Don't let them win. I mean, it's going to happen all the time, and you don't want something like that to ruin your stream, because I've had plenty of times where it happens very first thing in my channel. When I load into a game, something happens, and then it could either ruin the rest of your stream, or it could be calm, make a little bit of content about it, and then that person will go away because they didn't get the reaction that they wanted, and then you'll proceed to do what it is that you're trying to do, and you'll have a good stream no matter what trolls come through or anything. It's just part of it, and there's nothing that Twitch can necessarily do too much about it. There's a little bit of moderation that they can do, obviously, but at the end of the day, it's just something that's going to happen, and you just gotta learn how to push through it. Sorry. No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead, dude.
I thought you were done. That's why.
No. My bad.
So I know this is a Twitch question, but when I streamed on Mixer, I faced the same thing. Like Sadomi said, it's a culture issue. It's not Twitch's fault. It's not Mixer's fault. It's the people. It's people that watch you. It's a culture thing. It's all it is. And unfortunately, there's no fix for it. You just gotta kind of deal with it best you can in your own way. Everyone does it differently. And kind of just push on.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else got anything about this?
When it comes to the issue to fixing it, again, it's one person's not going to fix it. It has to be a whole culture thing, and we have to start from the ground and bases up. The first thing is realizing that this is a global platform. Mm-hmm. Someone could listen to this podcast in Bangladesh. Someone could listen to this podcast in Britain. Someone does watch this podcast who's from Britain. Someone could be watching this from Detroit. Someone from California. Someone from Canada. Someone from Hawaii. Someone from Tijuana, Mexico. There are people all over the world, and that's one thing too I love about the internet. And I feel I made a whole video on this too. People use the internet so wrong. you have so many connections to other parts of the world, and the fact that people want to spend their time doing that, like it baffles me. Like it actually baffles me why people want to waste their time doing like. I understand relaxing, but that's just way too. What do you get out of it long term?
Right. It's too negative.
Yeah, right.
Too negative. It's just people that want attention. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Either it's from their parents that they're wanting attention from, or something in their life isn't going that well, so they're just trying to take it out on us for sure.
Actually, listen to all trolls here. If you want attention, all you got to do is just learn something interesting. Say something interesting, because the most attention I've gotten in my life was never from trolling or from doing dumb shit. It was from like saying something important, saying something people want to respond to, saying that something people resonated with, saying something that someone was like, hey, wait a minute, I have something I want to say to that, whether it be positive or negative, counter argument. It's just say something that has meaning, something that's important. You'll get more attention than you ever would have in your life.
Just be a good person. People want to talk to you. That's all that it is. Just don't be an a-hole, and we'll probably enjoy your company a lot more. All right, so we got Free for All Thomas waiting to be added to the call. So once we get that scene switched over, I will get him in here.
Oh, my man Tom.
All right, should be getting him soon. There he is. Free for All Tom. What's up, man?
How you guys doing? So how's my voice quality sound? Because I'm actually on a telephone.
It sounds like poop, but it'll work.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Okay,
what you got for us today, man?
Okay, so hey Sadomi, I love that quote that you did about Michael Jordan. Now, if only Antonio Brown would follow by example, and he might be doing a little better.
It ain't happening.
Anyway, so I really want to touch on the fact that, well, the positive side, because I think you guys fell down the rabbit hole of the negative side, and everybody knows about the negative side of social media in general, not just Twitch or YouTube. So, but the positive side, I think, is an interesting topic, because I did a podcast back in the day, and I met my friend who lives in England, and me and him had communicated for a good 2 years. And then we didn't communicate for quite a while, and then we started communicating again recently within the last 6 months. And it's amazing to hear that voice again. And this is something that couldn't be achieved if it wasn't for the internet. And I think that it's not just a special case with me. I think that there's thousands, and if not millions, of people out there that have made friends through social media, through Twitch and YouTube. And I think that helps people that may have social awkwardnesses in their life that they can't get in school. For example, some people went to school, let's say the 80s, and there was a lot of struggles that people had to go through because they had to fit in certain groups of people that they maybe couldn't, and then they ended up sitting alone. But now you've got an outlet where you can go into a Twitch chat and you can communicate with these people, and you can actually get to know them. And yes, you get stuck inside of a house and you never really leave that house. But I had this conversation with my wife. Maybe people are just changing. And who's to say in 30 years, it's not just socially acceptable to never leave your house and just be sufficient living alone. Maybe it's bad, and maybe we think it's bad, but society changes, people evolve, things happen. And maybe that is the direction that society's heading, and maybe we don't have to live it, but who's to say they shouldn't live it? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody was straying too far off of the positive side. I think that there was a negative thing that was discussed, and we wanted to talk about that specifically. I don't think anybody here is saying that there's nothing good that comes out of social media or anything like that. There's just, when it comes to negativity, it's very easy to see, and it's not always the easiest to deal with. You know what I mean? The positive stuff, like that's all super easy to do. You know what I mean? But does anybody have anything on this?
Yeah. So just to talk about the positive stuff, about social media and all this good stuff. So because of social media, I still have friends that I went to elementary with. I have friends that I went to junior high with still, and all this good stuff. So also off Twitch, I mean, I've met so many cool people off Twitch, which is, obviously social media. We went to TwitchCon. People that I would never have thought that I had met in my entire life, I met them from Twitch. go to TwitchCon, we hang out, party, get drunk for 4 days in a row. I mean, that's my idea of fun. I'm not sure if it's everyone's idea, but that's my idea of fun. So it's crazy how a screen can make you become friends with somebody else on the other side of the world, the US, or wherever you live, you know? And when you guys get together, you are literally like friends. There's no awkwardness. You hang out, you talk, you just do whatever you guys want to do. In my terms, it's drinking, but it's just, it's insane the power of social media and how people, it can bring like two strangers together, you know? And it's just, it's insanely good. You know, it's just, I don't know. I'm so glad that I started Twitch, you know,
Right.
and because of that, I've made so many cool people. And then to me, it's almost like, let's be friends and work up to this huge event called TwitchCon now. And we just get together and we become just dummies together. You know, that's, I just love it, honestly.
Right. It is a special experience when like you've known someone online for a minute and then you get to meet them IRL and they're just as cool, if not cooler IRL than you anticipated. And then you get to go and like have those memories with those people and go out and actually do things in like IRL. You know what I mean? Like having those relationships like transfer over to IRL is just, it's fantastic. It really, really is. Anybody else got anything?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've talked about it on this show before, but I mean, just through Twitch alone, I reconnected with somebody I used to work with and made a bunch of friends. And we had 5 people from my Twitch community come to our wedding when we got married in September. So we had people like, I had someone fly in from Texas. I had somebody drive in from New Jersey. Somebody flew in from North Carolina, and they went to, they were there when I got married. Like, these are some of the best friends I've ever had because I play video games on the internet like an idiot. So like, there's so much positive through it too. And I think kind of like Vel said, I don't think we were saying there's no positives from it at all. Cause I think we were trying to see both sides.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it to come off like.
No, you're
you're good, man.
You're good.
I think, to kind of like, we're talking about like societal norms of like, I've always kind of like ignored those, I guess. Like, I've never really been like the person that's like, I have to hang out with this person just because we went to school together, or like, this is the normal thing to do. Like, obviously I quit a real job to play video games on the internet and try to make that a job. You know, growing up, I like lived in the hardcore music scene. Like, that's kind of the same idea of a lot of people come together from different walks of life or different areas that all have something in common and enjoy it. And that's where they connect, you know, but that's a not normal thing to do, of meet people on the internet or go listen to these bands that yell about things on stage, where if I had met them at a football game, nobody would care.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like growing up in Northern Michigan, like I listened to a lot of hip hop, which was not a normal thing up there. Like, nope, like people would be like, "Why do you listen to this?" And I'd be like, "Because I like it." And like they just wouldn't get it. They wouldn't get it. It's like country, and, like 80s rock, and then like nothing else. I'm like, this is garbage. Like it is what it is. But like I listen to my own thing, and like I totally get what you're saying. Like it's cool being able to like go into a separate community that might not even be like physical, you know, like Twitch or whatever. You know what I mean? And like having somebody that just accepts you for you, no matter what you're into. Like no one's going to be like, "Why do you listen to this?" People will be like, "Oh, that's interesting. I don't really care for it, but that's cool." You know? Anybody else got anything on this, by the way, while we're here?
The cool part about making friends online is, I'm not sure if you guys feel the same way, but I feel like since I made so many friends online, I feel like I'm way more strict with my friend selection IRL.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing you kind of notice is that when you're just IRL with everybody, you have let's say you have a pool of 50 people to choose from to be like someone you want to hang out with. Okay. Versus online, that pool exponentially increases. So essentially, you get a better way to pick and choose who you want to be like, close with. And so with that, I think you get more true social engagement. Like you find someone who likes the likes you like. You find people who have similar interests to you, and therefore, like a lot of us probably didn't get that in our immediate like life circles. Like just because you like something doesn't mean any of the 50 people in your class will like the same thing. Like me, I liked anime, and a lot of video games, but I never really like connected with the people who I wanted to hang out with, because most of the other people were like art nerds who did that stuff, and I wasn't really like into that either. And I was also like kind of a athlete too, so I had to find a nerdy athlete group, and it wasn't really that big. There were a few people, but going online, that's a lot of people, and so I kind of get to pick and choose a lot easier that way. And so I think it's kind of a negative too, because it kind of well, it's a personal. I don't know, it's a negative or positive, honestly. But the more I think about it, you can be more selective with people, but the people you choose, you feel more loyalty towards, because you handpick them out of a bigger pool. It's not just you got the scraps or the leftovers. You got the cream of your so-called crop. So
you don't really feel like an outcast on Twitch.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think another thing too with like meeting people on the internet is there's like how many billions of people in the world?
7.7.
The likelihood, yeah. So like the likelihood that I grew up or moved in next to my best friend is so small. The likelihood that I can find them on the internet when I go to Twitch and I'm like, I'm going to play Pokemon and we're going to talk about mental health today. Those are the two things that are in this stream. And then somebody else is going to go, I like both of those things, but I don't live near you. Sorry, we can't be friends. That's not going to happen. Like it's so much easier to find people that you can connect with. Even if you live in like a huge city, like you could live in LA and you could meet friends in LA through streaming, because that city's so big that you're less likely to bump into them on the street than you are in a niche community online.
Yeah,
It's
for
so
sure.
true. I played RuneScape in from 2001 to 2007, and I've made some of my best friends in that game. And it's sad because they don't log in anymore, and I really didn't have like a Facebook or a MySpace way to reach out to them other than that, because we weren't passing phone numbers. So I've kind of lost connection with all of them. But that's like a special time in my life that I just look back on. That yes, people that were born in the 80s don't understand why these kids play these video games. But I mean, that was our social circles. That was behind the gas station for us. That used to be for them. Like, I think that it's really positive. But I want to say thank you guys. You guys do an awesome job. This show I found this the other day. Last week was the first show I watched, and you guys do an awesome job. It's the most underrated show on Twitch. And you guys should be getting more attention.
Thank you so much, man.
It's the perfect place for a streamer up and coming or established to kind of come in and communicate. I mean, businesses have it. They have their own, my business I work for right now, they have their own little get-togethers and they just pass around ideas. This is perfect for that. I think you guys should keep doing it. It's awesome.
Thank you so much, man. Can you just confirm to everybody who's listening that we didn't pay you to say that? Thank you.
I can confirm that.
But we did.
Okay. I'll send you a check in the mail.
No, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. And like, our live stream doesn't get as much attention as the downloads do on like Spreaker and things like that. Like, we just passed over 100,000 total downloads, I think.
Wow.
2 weeks ago.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. It was actually after the last episode that Green Court hosted, which is unfortunate. But yeah, it was a huge milestone. But I really appreciate that, man. That means a lot.
I think it was before Green left.
Yeah, it was like the episode,
He
the
announced
episode before
it.
he left.
He announced it on
really?
the stream that they passed it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So I was
I think
wrong.
that's consistent. I think that's consistent with podcasting versus Twitch streaming, because like in 2008, I used to try to do a live cast with my crappy webcam on live stream. And I got like 500 downloads on the stream, and I couldn't even hold 2 or 3 viewers via. And I literally put a camera and faced Halo Reach. I think at the time was Halo Reach.
Yes.
But I still wasn't pulling anything. But I'm just. It's good to hear that that's still consistent trend. Podcasting.
Yeah, it's just a convenience thing, I think. You know what I mean? We're in the middle of the day on a Monday. Most people are working and stuff like that.
That's true.
And
Yes.
but yeah, I really appreciate it, man. That means a lot.
No problem. Keep doing it, guys. See you guys later.
Definitely. Have a good one. Man, that was a good ending on that one. I like that.
That was. All right, so
Gas me up.
So I'm going to take this over for a second because there's 2 things I want to touch on. MPI knows what I'm about to say about one of them.
Uh-oh.
So I'm just going to leave a hint for that. CTA. The second thing is, because something I love talking to people about. It's the importance of live view counts. But first, I want to work on the CTA. Now, who knows what a CTA is?
I'm not going to answer because it's cheating.
Don't know.
Okay. So a CTA, if you are a streamer, you need to know this by heart. A CTA is a call to action. Actually, any content, a call to action. A call to action is where you ask your audience to do something. So right now, audience, I'm going to ask you to do something. If you're listening on any podcasting app you listen to, whether it be Google Play Music, whether it be Spotify, Apple iTunes, please go. Whatever like system is there, pump us up. Please, thank you. If you're watching in the Twitch chat, please. If you like anything at all, clip it, post it on Twitter, and hashtag it, tag it, share it around. And if you like anybody in this cast, please to ask us a question please tag StreamKey Podcast in Twitter. Trust me, CTAs work. They're beautiful. Okay, always do them. Calls to actions. You will definitely get more subs too if you do call to action. Guaranteed. Works every time. 100% true.
Okay, I have a question about that then. About CTAs for subs. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about when a streamer asks for a certain amount of subs, or like when they do a subathon stream? Like, there's no like actual celebration. It's just a subathon stream.
A subathon stream?
Yep.
So the way I view it is value before anything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're delivering value with that, then go ahead. If you're not delivering value, then don't be mad if it doesn't work. But if it works for you, then I guess you are delivering value, because you can't decide what someone's value is. Like, someone's value for watching you could just be because you say fat shroud and that's the funniest thing they've heard in their entire life. Like, value for MPI could be because that's the one place they can go and just like be like, okay, hey, if I feel like shit, this guy also knows what it's like to feel like, crap, so I can relate to him. For me, it could be, wow, this guy speaks the most out there stuff, and I've thought about this. Like I'm six-heading right now. Like, oh my god. Or for Don, it might be like, yo, this man like is just like friendly. He's memeing. His lights are beautiful. Like, his room, like that background, that kitchen. Yeah, that's goals for me in 2025, bro. That thing looks fire.
Green screen.
I saw that the biggest green screen ever, because like when you went back there, I was like, dang, that's a really in-depth green screen, man.
He got a drink out of his green screen.
Exactly. That's nuts. But anyway,
that's
going back, like,
disrespect level stuff.
Exactly. But yeah, you can't determine what someone's value is to someone else.
Right.
So as long as you're delivering value and you can pinpoint that value and you can like maximize it, then you're fine. I might probably dodge a question a little bit, but that's kind of how I feel about it, because like I said, there are people who watch TrainWrecks. I don't care for him at all. So like, and people get value from that, and I can't really deny people's value for things. So right there.
All right. What was your next thing you wanted to bring up?
So, what's the importance of viewer counts? Like, let's be completely real and completely straight here. The importance of your live viewer count.
As a streamer who wants to be a streamer as a career, super important. It's the only real metric that matters. Follower count doesn't matter. Sub count matters to an extent, just because if it is something that you're relying on as your income, that's one of the forms of income that you get steadily. But really what it comes down to is the only thing that matters on Twitch, just on Twitch alone, is the view count, because it puts you up higher on the directory. It validates you as a streamer, to other people. So more people want to check you out. More people will feel like you're the next up and coming. So they want to stick around and hang out there. You know what I mean? So what do you think?
I agree. Unfortunately, I agree. It's your live view count is very important to you as a streamer if you want to take it seriously, but with this live view count number, with this focus on it, comes a lot, for me personally, comes with a lot of anxiety, comes with a lot of pressure. Sometimes it's hard to hit the go live button. I didn't know what that meant until recently, how people can't hit the go live button. So it's a number. Yes, it's kind of an important number if you want to take streaming seriously, because like Vel says, it validates you, right? And it puts you higher. It's going to be the most important thing, in my opinion, to look at. There are other good metrics out there, like what was it? It was like follower per new view or something like that, or whatever, follower per unique view. That's also very important. It kind of tells you how much you can retain off of a new viewer. But I agree with this, that it is important, but try and have fun while you're doing it. Try and yes, realize that number is there, but don't make it your life. Okay. Don't let it change the way you make your content. A lot of streamers hide that number because if they see it drop, it puts them in a certain mood. They get a little less like creative. They get down, and then when the number gets high, they make better content or they're happier, right? And you kind of don't want that number to really affect you. I used to leave it open, and then I hit it, and now it's back open again because now like I want it to hit me in the face. Like I don't care with numbers anymore. I'm trying to take a more relaxed approach to it, and for me, how to do that is let it hit me in the face. I don't care what it is anymore. I'm gonna try and have fun anyways. That's me. It's a very sensitive subject. I feel like for a lot of people is this view count number.
Yeah, because anytime you say something's important to you, they automatically will try to say like this is like the only thing that matters to you. Like you're only saying this to get a lot of viewers, but like it is so easy to just attack people, especially on the internet. You know, Twitter, Twitch, whatever. If you say that you enjoy something, like yeah, subs are great. Like I like having subscribers. Then like you're instantly labeled as a money grabber, which isn't necessarily the case. Like you can like I don't necessarily like strive to have a lot of subscribers. You know what I mean? Like it's not like my focus, but at the same time, I'm not going to turn down a subscription. You know, like so the fact that people will just attack you for whatever, it definitely makes you like second guess before you say things like what you actually appreciate as far as support.
Yeah, and like. Okay, I thought you were done.
No, I'm sorry.
Keep on doing this.
I thought I didn't know you had something. You do your thing. You do you.
Oh, okay. And so like I always tell my viewers, like, I don't want your subs. Yeah, subs are nice, you know.
Right.
But I just give me your eyeballs, you know, like like how you support me is money is cool, but like I'd rather you just watch and like enjoy it, you know. Keep your money, you know, like I'm not saying keep your money, but if you want, you know, but like just give me your eyeballs. Your eyeballs are more important to me, you know. What's more validating to me is whenever people watch me and they enjoy my content, whatever the heck that is, you know, they enjoy that. That's more validating to me. That's more satisfying to me. You know, I've had large sub days with like low views, and I'm like, that's cool. But I've had days where like my views are higher with low sub days. And I'm like, that's freaking awesome. Like that's my mentality, you know. But now I'm just. Yeah, that number, the little red number there is the little white number with the red dot is very sensitive. So
right.
Be careful with it. Be careful with it.
MPI, you haven't said anything yet.
Sadomi, do you want me to answer? Because I know what you're looking for.
Okay, just give me your answer. Okay, your answer. Okay. I'll say my answer later.
Like Veli said, and you know, it's important because it can push you up higher in the directory. And some people are more willing to click on a streamer with more viewers, or they're just more likely to find it because it's higher up.
Yeah.
But you've also got plenty of people who are going to go, I'm going to watch the guy with 4 people because, you know, that's where I want to be. I want to hang out with a smaller community where I can actually talk to someone and make friends. Don, you said it, man. You've had days where you have low views, but a ton of subs versus days with a ton of views and few subs. So think about that for a second. And this is I'm leading into what Sadomi's looking for, I think, of just because you have a lot of views doesn't mean you're making money. Just because you don't have a lot of views doesn't mean you're not making money. So it's an important number. If you're looking at this if you're doing this as a career and anyone ever tells you, well, you just want me to sub so you make money, tell them, yes, that's how I eat. That's how I pay my bills. And if somebody has a problem with that, tell them to shut up. That's dumb. That's the person who will work at a job they hate their entire life because they don't want to sell out or go against the grain. Bruh, this is how I eat. This F you pay me. I got bills, bro. Just because I went full-time streaming doesn't mean I don't have bills anymore. Like, exactly. That's part of it that you do have to look at. It's the same thing as any musician, any professional athlete that wants to make it. You just want to play in the NFL to make millions of dollars. Yeah, it's what I love to do, and I want to get paid to do it. Yes. And you just want to go on tour so you can make money. Yeah, I love playing music, and I'm trying to eat.
So MPI is just hungry, basically.
I mean,
he's just always hungry.
Make this man fat. Let's get him some subs.
It kills me. You're making money on Twitch. You're making money from your music, so you sold out, bro. It's a job.
Right.
You sold out working for corporate America that you hate.
Mhm.
Don't tell me about selling out. So back to the original point. Just because you have a lot of viewers or don't have a lot of viewers doesn't mean good or bad either way.
Oh my god, the regathering was just like, oh, back to what we were talking about.
But I digress.
Oh my god, you made Don leave. That's cool.
I was like, I can't handle this anymore.
Sadomi, what do you have to say about this, man?
All right, so MPI hit a lot of it on the head too, and there's one more thing too I've learned over just a lot of research I've done. Individual view counts, really, when you think about it, if you're doing this as a full-time creator, if you're doing this for an income source and not just live attention to your shows, I think it matters way less than people will give it credit for. In fact, I think that if you have to hide your view count, you are putting 100 times more stress and like focus on something that doesn't really matter that much. Because if you have zero, and I told Ethan this last night, if you have 0 viewers in your stream, your goal shouldn't be to get more viewers in that stream. Your goal should be to make as many pieces of good content during that stream as possible, and then use that content to promote it outside. Because one, Twitch is not a discovery source. Twitch is not a search engine. YouTube is a search engine. Google is a search engine. You have Twitter, Instagram are discoverable engines, discoverable platforms. So, and the way I think about it too is if someone can watch your content whenever they want to, that's a bigger benefit than being like, hey, look, you have to watch my show at 7 p.m. every night. Oh, you work till 9 o'clock? Well, damn, you're never going to see me ever again. Like, that is a huge handicap that streamers give themselves. And when you think about it, what's your favorite TV show that you can't catch? And how quickly do you forget about it if you can't watch it somewhere else? This is why Netflix, like, killing isn't even a, like, word for this. They massacred. They picked up cable television, drop kicked it, threw it over the top rope, and cashed in the money in the bank at the same time. Because being able to watch people whenever you want to watch them is key. That's why YouTubers are so much bigger than like a lot of Twitch streamers are, because quite frankly, the video on demand content is the moneymaker. How many people are going to call off of work to watch a show? Unless your show is your day in life, you're not going to do that. How many people are like, sorry, I missed your stream. How sorry I worked this time, or sorry, I missed your stream. I was late coming back, or sorry, I missed your stream. Like, don't make them sorry. Make it a bonus. If anything, I think every content creator should focus on creating static content, because another part about Twitch that sucks is your VODs get deleted. I can't tell you what my streams were 2 years ago because they're deleted. They're gone. All that's left are maybe I streamed at least over 1,000 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 5 hours are in clips total. Not even that. That's less than 5 hours in clips. Maybe like 3 or 4 hours of clips, because each 30 seconds each. So, and of the good clips there are, maybe an hour's worth, because I'm great. But
because I'm great.
Yeah. So individual live view counts at the moment do not matter. Now, I think is a much better metric is total view counts per hour on stream. So how many people come into your channel every hour on average? That is a much better way to judge a metric of a channel. Because some people will just click, check it out, and then leave because they're just doing something else. People click. I tell people all the time, like, if you don't leave a lurk. Save your PC memory, because you're probably using Chrome. It's hogging a lot. Save your PC memory. Use it to be productive. Do something else. If there's anything important that you missed, trust me, I will clip it for you. I'll post it somewhere else for you so you can catch it. Because I promote I'm busy. I got stuff to do. We got stuff to do, like, with my community. Like, here's some information. Here's some articles. Here's some stuff. Learn. Teach yourself. If you're not there for streams, that's fine. If it's anything important, I'll post it on YouTube. And if it's there, it's there. Do it. So I think everyone should focus completely on... Actually, if you're a streamer right now, listen to this, please just unblock your view count and watch it the entire stream. And then analyze why that matters to you. Think really hard why that matters to you. And then if you still feel yourself being too tied to that number, like that number is making you nervous about something, do some introspection about why you want that number to be that high, and think about why someone wouldn't be at a stream. Like, we could write down for hours reasons why people can't be at a stream.
Right.
Literally work, kids, internet, new patch, new game. dog, I'm on the toilet, no Wi-Fi, nip slip. Yeah, exactly. Like any reason. Wait, did I say nip slip? Anyway,
I don't think one of those keeps you from Twitch.
Wait, hold on.
I don't know what
I mean,
saying.
if you're the streamer, it might. Only for some people, though.
You said slip, and my brain just went like, I don't know.
All right.
Yeah. So we just derailed that entire conversation with that.
Yeah, so I agree, right? Twitch is like the most important metric, whatever, that most people think is view count. And it sucks because view count, you can't expect someone to be in your stream all day, every day. People have lives, but it's so weird that as Twitch streamers, a lot of us kind of, whether we like it or not, expect it. Let's just say it. But it's so weird that this number that goes up and down, we expect it to keep on going up because we expect people to come in every day and stay every day. We expect every new follower to come in and stay from that point on, and it's not it. It's think of your view count as like a revolving door. People come and go. They come and go. They come and go. People come in, people will leave. People come in, they'll leave. It's just how it is, But I do disagree with what Sadomi says in terms of your live view count is not important, or I think your live view count is a good indication of, in my opinion, how entertaining you are, how well you can keep a viewer in your channel and keep them entertained. To me, how long they stay, how long they watch you, to me, is a good indication, in my opinion, of how entertaining you are, how much people love to watch you real time, and like that's my own personal opinion on that.
So I'll counter that real quick because there's a metric designed for that: average watch time. Yeah. So like I said, the live viewer number, the moment doesn't matter, but average watch time. If your average watch time is 5 minutes and you've been streaming for 6 hours, there's an issue with your sound. Guaranteed your sound is messed up somehow. Because the one number reason people leave streams is because there's bad audio.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're a streamer that focuses completely on visuals, which very few streamers do. Then I think audio is the number one cause if your average watch time is that low.
Or just horribly not entertaining.
That too. Even people who are entertaining, you give them about a bit more than 5 minutes. Like you'll get up, get a drink, leave them on. But if the audio is that bad, you close out immediately. And the only people who will stay there are you and people who your friends are trying to help you out with your audio.
Who probably have the tab muted.
We might have to talk about this a little bit more next week. We got 2 callers I want to squeeze in before the end of the episode. So we're going to get in here. We're going to get Lumberjack Ellen Streams, and then we have Crazy Eyes on deck. So let me add Lumberjack real quick.
Oh, Crazy Eyes? Oh, man.
It's about to get crazy.
All right, let's see if we can get him in here. Lumberjack Allen Streams.
How's it going?
What's up, man? What do you got for us today?
So first off, MPI, preach that whole thing, man. Like that is truth. Like I hate when people come into my show and like I'm like they're like, well, why are you doing this? You're only doing from. I'm like, yes, obviously. Like, why do you do anything? Like, it just like,
why do you do anything?
I mean, you're not wrong.
But so I kind of want to discuss on like Sadomi's point of like the viewer count. I will say because I listened, because Veli always was the one who told me to like turn off the viewer count, and I will say when I did that,
wow, all out.
I'm not trying to start anything. I'm just saying, like, it helped me a lot on streams. Just because like I noticed that like even like when I turned it off, I was just like it was just so much more relaxing. It was so much more just like you don't have to worry about, like you can focus on your content more than just like why are people leaving? Why are people coming in and out? Why are people, like, but I will say that like I do like your point on saying like, but if you have it there, you can reflect on like why are people leaving and then maybe improve even more. So I will say like I guess my main question is like because you were talking also about like average viewer time. What is a good average viewer time? Like does it depend on your stream, I guess? But like if you're streaming for like 4 hours, 5 hours or something, what's a good average viewer time that you want to look for? That you want
5 hours.
It depends completely on your content. because my content, it is more long form designed for that, and also I do come in with small like points. So for me, a good average watch time would be, and also have to keep in mind too, you get people come to your channel and will just leave instantly. So that will definitely like bring it down some. So don't expect your view count to be anywhere near your streaming time, anywhere near, especially if you're streaming for more than 3 hours. That's just unrealistic. I don't have an answer for what a good view time is for anybody but myself, but it would have to, like I said, it depends completely on your content and what you do. I'm assuming, what do you stream? What do you do?
I mainly variety stream, but I play a lot of like, now that Halo's out, I've been playing a lot of Halo, but also like Destiny 2 and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
do you play with viewers?
Sometimes, but mainly just with myself.
Okay.
Or like some friends that I have that I trust.
Okay. Because a lot of, and this is a metric I haven't really dove into directly with like other with the gaming streamings, but like for my stuff, I recommend doing some streams, doing your own research, like taking note of what your current view time is, taking note of what your best streams were in that like month. Do it for a month. For a month, take a note of what your longest, like your best streams were, and note those view times, and then in your opinion, your worst streams. Take a note of those average watch times, and then compare those numbers and see which one would be like a good middle ground for you to hit.
So to help Lumberjack out real quick, Sadomi, since you look at your average watch time, what's your maybe look at it percentage wise, what's your average stream, and then what's your average watch time, and like give them a percentage, is like 40%, 30%, 20%, like.
Let's see. We don't have time to pull it up right now, but I think it's between like 10 to 30% about there, depending on what it is and how many people show if I get rated or not.
Okay.
So
that's something we can definitely talk more about next week as well. You know what I mean? Like we'll have a totally new episode to bring that up and talk as long as we need to about it for sure. Because it is something that like affects everybody. Everybody wants to know, how long people are actually watching for and everything. And like it varies so much based on your content. Just like Sadomi was saying, like Tim the Tatman does stream for a long time, has a lot of viewers, but you got to imagine that some of the viewers aren't there the entire time. Some of them, like myself, as much as I love Tim the Tatman, I might go in there for 20, 25 minutes at the most, and then I'm probably doing something else because there's no like real interaction there. It's just there's that content, and if I really want to go find some quality Tim the Tatman content, I'll probably just go on YouTube, so I'll get the condensed version with all the highlights.
Right. Yeah. I guess like one last thing on that, just because I want to get Crazy Eyes in here as well. He's a funny man.
Yeah.
I guess like, so as much as like viewership is important, like I just find it so much better to have it off, but like would you still strongly recommend to put it back on? Or I guess is like I don't know what to, I'm trying to improve, and like, so I don't know.
So for me, the way I view it is that's a confidence issue.
Okay.
First and foremost. So if you are confident enough that it is not going to affect your broadcast, because the best way to view it is, let's say you're a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. Is the size of your audience going to make you perform differently, or is that going to make you not perform at your best, knowing that you don't have as many people as you want to be there? And also, is it going to affect you if you have 1,000 people in a stadium hearing you perform your content? Because if you are truly, truly confident in what you put onto the table, you will want as many people to see as possible. And at least in my mind, I'm not sure how your mind works, but in my mind, if only 5 people are there, well, guess what? Those 5 people are getting the best damn show of their life. And they're leaving there with something, they'll be like, oh my God, my mind is blown. I need to like sit down. I need to go to a hospital. My brain's just exploding.
Yeah. So just to make it real quick before I know we want to get Crazy on. I turned my back on because I think I can numb myself to it, and it's kind of good to see like what you're doing live, like what works, what doesn't work for your stream, get live feedback on that. But I turned mine off for a while because I was going through some stuff, and then I was like, I'm gonna turn it back on. So now I'm like kind of numb to my view count, and maybe that'll work for you. Turn it on for a stream or two, see if it affects you, like mentally. If it does, then you turn it off again.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, for that. And you guys are awesome, and thank you guys so much for the help.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Have yourself a good day. All right, man.
Yep.
All right. So now we got Crazy Eyes is going to try to join up. So let me try to add him real quick. All right, there we go. Crazy Eyes, what's up, man? Uh-oh, we're getting video.
Oh, the video.
Oh, the
Oh,
dog.
God.
Yo, what up? It's your boy. All right.
All right, let's not get him out of here.
You know, look, long time listener, first time listener. Really, really glad to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me on the show. I really appreciate that. You
All
are
right.
an hour and a half late. I was supposed to be on there with you guys. I don't know if anyone told you.
I didn't hear about it.
To go back to a bit of the revolving door viewership, it has been interesting that you stream for 4, 5, 6 hours a day, and you just kind of hope that people are filtering in and out, almost like it's a storefront, but it's video. People are watching it. Have you ever thought about maybe doing it more like a show? Where it's like, let's just give a really good hour, and then you throw that on your YouTube, you promote the shit out of that 1 hour, and it's almost like it's an episode once or twice a week, like it's a television show. And then you know, the less people see me, the more they want me. It's that kind of less is more
Rarity.
situation, right?
So I thought about this. I thought about like, yo, what if I'm too accessible and people can just come in whenever they want, you know, just get me whenever they want, you know, like,
That's not good.
yeah, like, like it's all about the, you know, maybe it's about the chase. You want the chase, right? You start dating a
Right.
boy or girl, and you're like, yo, they're so inaccessible. I want them
Pepe Le Pew
more.
situation, yeah. Once
Yeah,
he gets the kid, he's like, I don't want it anymore. It's
I did think about this, you know, but at the end of the day, I think it's the more you stream, the more your chance to get discovered. Maybe when you get big, you start chopping it down a little bit, you know. But I did think about this. Not gonna lie, I did.
do you plan what you want to talk about during your time, or you just let everything be organic?
Yeah, I just let it roll off the tongue.
Because it's tough. I mean, if you plan an hour to 2 hours a week or an hour each night, you can plan what you want to go on. There's a reason stand-up comedians aren't doing it every single day with all new content every day. Nobody can be that funny all the time. Steve Colbert has writers, a whole team of writers just for 4 nights a week for what, an hour?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I thought that was something you could think about, and you just call it like the John Bradley Hour, and then you invite me, so it's fine.
Sounds like a plan, to be honest.
The other thing, viewer count, cool. Like I've had 10 viewers, not to flex. All right, listen. I've had 10 people,
Bro,
but
get him out of here, man.
Got a cool guy over here. Dang, guys.
next to nothing for interaction. Nobody's chatting. How am I supposed to know if these 10 bot accounts are actually enjoying my content versus the 5 people who are actually talking with me and interacting? I mean, you can add the stuff, song requests. You can add all that stuff. Oh, sorry, I got some honey mustard on my shirt. You can add all that stuff. But what do people actually like about it? Like, what are they there for? Are they there, you know, for your game? Are they there for? Because if you're playing a game and you're not really good at it, chances are they're not there for your game. So, I don't know. That's why I watch Velok. I'm there for the personality, obviously. So,
First of all, why don't you have your own show? I'd watch this crap out of you. Oh my god!
Thursday nights and
Fun thing he does.
It's called True Fam After Dark, and
Oh,
sometimes I get
man.
10 people. So,
No, I mean you need a network show or a Netflix show or something. Make it rare, you know. Make yourself rare.
1 episode a week. This is what I'm talking about.
I like that. So I literally touched on this earlier. So if you spend, let's say, 5 hours a week planning a 1 hour show, you get the best show John Bradley can put out. Do you know what that means? You take that, you
Damn
syndicate it. You can make, if you can make 100 pieces of content out of 10 episodes, that is 100 different opportunities for people to find you and get that number from 10 to 100. And trust me, that is the one thing. Like, if you spend more time, like working on content and like making it better, you will see results. You will see results, and no one can go for 4 or 5 hours like straight just playing a game. And having more condensed stuff is better anyways, especially if you focus on syndicating it. The live part's a bonus. Like, people can make it a bonus to be there at 7 o'clock because you can interact with you instead of watching it just on YouTube, like live. Imagine being able to jump into the audience of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on your phone if you're there live at the time,
Yeah.
versus watching it when it's pre-recorded at noon on TV, or you'll watch one episode on YouTube, right? Boom. right there. Like you already know what you gotta do.
It's kind of how I feel about late night television, where a lot of the people aren't watching that stuff at 12:30, 1:30 in the morning, but they're watching the YouTube clips, and that's what the kids are into these days. So you want to get that youth viewership. That's how you just gotta watch out for COPPA. You gotta feel it out. You gotta COPPA feel and make sure everything's good. I can tell Velog. I can tell this call has run its course. I'm so sorry.
Don't hang up. Don't do it.
Why? Fine. Done. I'll just say
dude.
one.
Dude, it was good.
Dude, this guy. Like, oh man, it's crazy.
You're our last guest every day.
Dude, like he made great points, and then he just said some of like the weirdest things. Some of them I want to address. I'm like, dude, actually, like to be honest, like there's this, and then but he'll say something like feel.
Then he realized he has a stupid honey mustard.
You won't even call YouTube because of YouTube.
Oh my god! I need to shout out for Crazy Ass in the chat real quick. For any of you guys that don't know him, he is a good dude and a super funny guy.
And to loop it all back, that's a call to action. You're welcome, Sadomi.
Planned. The entire thing was planned. All right, the whole time.
It was a ruse.
Fake laughter right here. Okay.
This isn't funny.
No, it's not. It's not funny at all. But he really did make some good points, and that's actually why I stopped doing my afternoon streams. Not too much because I was too accessible, but because I wanted to put more content out on other platforms that people could find me on when I wasn't live. Because I've been streaming full time for like a year now, and my entire mindset was like, I'll just stream a lot, and because I'm a streamer and I want to stream, and I'll just stream all the time. And I'll grow that way, when in reality that doesn't work. Like I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't work that way. Like you're not going to get discovered on Twitch the way you can get discovered on YouTube or anything else. So taking time off of streaming to make other content that's, as Sadomi will put it, recorded stuff that people can find, even like no matter what the time of day is, like that's super important to grow your Twitch channel.
What if I'm lazy?
So
easy solution for that.
Stop.
It's tough, man. It's really tough. But at the end of the day, like you're a content creator more than you are a streamer. If you want your streaming to take off, you know what I mean?
So I kind of want to talk about two things with that. Don, to give like a legitimate answer, not stop. What is there like? Is there anything you've done before that keeps you on track? Like maybe make a checklist or get like a whiteboard and put it next to your desk. Be like, this week I have to accomplish these things, and then I can erase them or check them off. And then at the bottom of it, you have a piece of candy that you get when you finish that week's projects. You get a piece of candy, that's your reward.
Pizza candy.
Yeah, dude, pizza candy, it's the best. But really, make something that can keep you on track. Make a checklist, or even just like have things scheduled so that it can be automatic, kind of in the background. Sometimes over time, you learn how to make those things easier. Like you can use an app called If This Then That will automatically post your videos when they go live.
Yep.
Or it will automatically do whatever you want it to do. There's a million things you can do with it, but find something that helps keep you on track with things, if that makes sense.
Okay, so quickly, just for the average listener out there, if I know we're short on time now. If you want to start a YouTube, like what are the first couple of steps they should do?
So first couple of steps, make 100 pieces of content. 100.
Then what?
Yeah, well, I made one. So
if you go out and make 100 pieces of content, doesn't matter how great it is, just go out and make 100. Okay. It's like, has anyone here trained martial arts or done any sports or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you don't ever make your first basketball shot. Okay.
I did.
You get whatever. Okay. You don't get the form down until you practice it multiple times. And once you practice it multiple times, then you get the form down. You get comfortable doing it. Then eventually you're in a game, someone's beating up on you, you do one crossover, jump up, hit the 3, and you don't even realize you hit it. You're just like, yeah, I do it all the time in practice.
Yeah.
Practice is the key. That's why you do it 100 times. Don't make one video, like, oh, the video wasn't good enough, and then make another video 4 months later. No. Make 100 pieces of content in a month, and you can honestly only work like you're making 20 pieces of content, just stretch those out into 5 different pieces each time you do it. Like when you stream, good example, start recording your streams, and when something funny happens, stop recording, then start recording again, then go into video editor, take from the end of that clip and cut it to where it started, and then cut that, put it up, boom, right there. Like my last stream last night, I made 5 pieces of content out of that right then and there in a 3-hour stream.
So Sadomi, why don't you just use the clip on, like the clip feature on Twitch to clip that and then edit it later instead of stop
Right.
on your recording?
So I do more long form things. So things will take about 10 or 20 minutes for me to develop out. So that works better for me. But if you're doing small highlight clips, then yeah, that works perfect. That's actually a better idea, honestly. Do that, learn how to download clips, download that clip, pop it up, edit however you want, toss it on Twitter, YouTube, whatever you want to do with it, Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, just do that. Because the point isn't to make a great piece of content right now. The point is to train yourself to make content. So when you have, content ready to go, you have like good content, you can just go on and make it. It's not a thing. You're not hold back by, how do I edit this? How do I set this? Because I know we've all sat here and edited videos that we never put out because we're like, too nervous that it's not good enough.
So many videos that didn't get.
All right, we do need to get wrapping up. We can talk more about this next week. If you guys have any questions for Sadomi about any of this, he'll be on next week's episode. He is the co-host. So with that being said, let's start with MPI, your sign out.
So yeah, you guys can find me Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the important places under Mr. Pure Instinct. We stream right now Monday through Friday. Mondays are typically only in the afternoons. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are morning. We start at 9, stop at 11, start again at 1, stop at 5 Central. Tuesday nights for the rest of the year. About 2 weeks, we've got the True Talk podcast that I host. So you guys can come hang out with us on Tuesday nights. We talk about video games, pop culture. We play some games. It's a good time. You can come hang out and just swing by wherever's easiest for you, whenever's easiest for you. I'm probably there.
Awesome. DonTranX.
Yeah, you find me at DonTranX on every social media platform. I stream FPS games. I stream just chatting. My stream is very, very weird. If you come in, I put a lot of work into my filters. It's all kind of crazy, weird stuff. And if you come in there, I'm going to lock you in my dungeon because I want that average watch time to be the entire length of my stream.
Goals.
You heard it. Sadomi.
Everyone, I am Sadomi. If you're in the Twitch chat right now, I'm posting my streamer links. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. I actually just posted a video on YouTube today. And this is when I was having my talk with Ethan. It's a long form video, a lot of information. If you really, really need help with your content, it's a great resource. Give it a watch right there. If I can find it on my YouTube, again, Sadomi. Google it. I don't have the YouTube link yet because I'm not at 100 subscribers, but we're almost there. So thank you again, Veli, for being a great host, great co-host. So excited to be host of this show. If you need me, I talk too much, so I'll end it there. Go ahead.
All right, so you heard it here. I'm Belloc. I stream on Twitch Tuesday through Friday, 8 a.m. EST to noon or 1 or whatever. But hopefully you guys like the podcast. If you have any streamer friends that think you could use any tips from this show, make sure to let them know about us. If you have any questions for next week that we can answer, make sure to hit us up on Twitter at stream_key, I believe it is. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Can't wait for the next show. This one was a great one. And yeah, take it easy, everybody. We're signing out. Who wants to say it?
Plays out.
There you go. Later.